recorded live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Trivial Warfare. More than just a pub quiz, Trivial Warfare is your gateway to a worldwide trivia community. Join your hosts, Jonathan.
We just described Ric Flair as Neanderthal Man and Planet of the Apes.
Chris.
Yo, we going down to Sesame Street.
That's your impression of hardcore rap?
Carmela.
That would irritate the hell out. I'm like, I just want my groceries. My ice cream is melting.
Ben.
4 halogens in that list. Oh my God.
You were like, it's not the halogens. I'm like, no, Ben, no.
Those damn halogens got me again.
And the rest of the Trivial Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Trivial Warfare. We are the podcast that takes the pub quiz out of the pub and brings it home to you. And welcome to our annual Pride episode. Thank you for coming to join us today. I have some great guests here with me today, and I'm just going to get right to it and start introducing. I have Liam Huntley. Hi, Liam.
Hi, Carmela.
I have Jodie Steele.
Hello.
I have Tony DePhillips.
Hello, Carmela.
And Rye Josloff.
Hi.
All right, Liam, we're going to start with you. Tell everyone who you are, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
So I'm Liam. I am a clinical director and school social worker by day and a private practice therapist by night. I live in beautiful Colorado Springs where I can see the Rockies from my window or patio. Something fun about me, 2 quick ones. As a child, I got to sing directly with Stevie Wonder.
Wow.
And as an adult, one of my favorite hobbies that I try to do on my birthday every year before I move to Colorado is to go skydiving.
Wow. You are a much braver person than I am.
It's an amazing experience being able to be where the eagles are flying and just see the world from a whole different perspective.
That sounds awesome. Jodie, why don't you tell everyone where you are, what you do, and something fun about yourself?
So I live in Rhode Island. I moved here a few years ago. I'm originally from Massachusetts. So I'm from Massachusetts. That's Masshole for life. I work for an ISP doing really boring like back-end software support. There's no fun there. Something fun about myself. I was trying to think of something on the way home today because I'm kind of a boring person, and I stopped to get McDonald's, and I remembered that when I was a kid, I almost cut off my uvula with a McDonald's straw.
Oh my God.
Probably the most interesting thing that's happened to me. It's a slip of the cup, and that straw, man, they're not playing around with those milkshake straws. And my mom brought me to the doctor, and she was like, what do we do? And the doctor was like, I don't know, it should be fine. So spent a couple weeks drinking cold water and eating really bland food, and it's fine. It's still there, but yeah, that's my fun story.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that you survived that. That sounds awful.
It wasn't fun. And, pre-Google, my mom was like, what does that do? And the doctor was like, we don't really know. It'll probably be fine if it falls off.
It's like, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's all right.
That's what you want to hear when you go to the doctor's office. Like, it's probably fine.
When you're like 7, too.
Well, I can safely say that I've never heard that before as someone's interesting fact, so I appreciate that.
Nice. Goal accomplished.
Tony, why don't you let everyone know where you are, what you do, and something fun about yourself?
Hi, everybody. My name is Tony DePhillips. I'll use he, him pronouns. I am from Duryea, Pennsylvania, which is right in the middle of Scranton and Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. I am a high school biology, human anatomy teacher and quiz bowl coach with middling success. And I am also a roller coaster maniac, theme park enthusiast. I've been on 815 different roller coasters in my life.
Wow.
Over, half a dozen more countries and a couple of continents. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite? Like, give me a top 3.
I always go for the experiences. So, when you get on the Velocicoaster, the Jurassic World coaster at Universal Studios, I love that. When you get up to Cedar Point in Ohio, Steel Vengeance, lots of good times. And my sentimental favorite, I actually have it framed right above me. Sorry, this is a podcast. You can't see that at home. And that is Phoenix, which is right in central Pennsylvania at Knoble's Amusement Resort. And that's always going to be the sentimental favorite.
Well, that's awesome. I used to love riding roller coasters a lot. I don't do it as much anymore. I've had some back injuries and it's not comfortable for me anymore. But I remember my first roller coaster was the Loch Ness Monster at Busch Gardens in Williamsburg. That was my very first coaster, and it left an impression. I was terrified in the line. I was probably about, 10.
Well, yeah, you got 2 interlocking loops and everything else. Beautiful, beautiful park and coaster. But that's a great one. Great.
I love it. And last but not least, Rye, why don't you let everyone know where you are, what you do, and something fun about yourself?
Hello, I'm Rye. My pronouns are they, them. I live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm actually moving not a couple days, a couple of hours. Moving tomorrow morning. So I'm surrounded by moving boxes now, but just moving a few blocks away. So still in Philly. I'm a Montessori teacher. I teach 4th through 6th graders in a multi-age classroom. And something fun about myself, I like to accessorize with belt buckles. So I've started a little collection probably 6 or 7 years ago. It's been growing. One of my favorite things is when I get them from like students as teacher gifts or from friends for my 40th birthday. I had everyone bring a belt buckle that reminded them of me. So that's my favorite.
Okay, so top 3 belt buckles.
No, so hard. I have one that's made of like bike gears. So it's kind of it's made of bike gears. I've got the one I'm wearing right now is a bird. It's a woodpecker. That one's been getting a lot of use lately. That one was from a student. And I've got one that's like a fly. I'm into insects. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I've never heard of anyone with a belt buckle collection. I mean, probably people from Texas have them, but just not as like a thing. I think that's cool. I like that a lot. Well, welcome everyone. This is all your first time on the Pride episode, and I'm so happy to have you here. So we're just going to roll right into it. I've got to warm it up Chris here.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TWA, and that's Chris. And sometimes Jonathan.
Playing the part of Chris today is me. I have significantly more hair. And Christopher, I miss you a lot. So I was perusing the interwebs as I do, and I came across this article that was written June 7th of this year from Billboard, where it's the top 60 LGBTQ anthems of all time. So they did a countdown. So I want you I'm going to go through this list one at a time with y'all and give me what's in the top 25. So I want you to give me what's in the top 25 of Billboard's 60 top LGBTQ anthems of all time. And Liam, we are going to start with you.
I'm going to go for the easy one. Well, I hope it's easy because it's one of my all-time favorites, but I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor.
One of my all-time favorites, too, is number 3. Good job. Jodie.
I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit and say I'm Coming Out, Diana Ross.
Number 2. Tony.
Well, you can't get through this question without the Village People showing up probably multiple times, but I'm going to choose YMCA.
Number 24.
Ooh.
A lot lower than I thought it would be when I was going through this list.
A little scary on that one. Okay.
Rye, what do you got for me?
Well, those were my first 3. But I'm going to go, how about Born This Way?
Number 1, Born This Way. Liam, we're back to you.
Well, you just stole mine, but I'm going to piggyback off of Tony and hope that Macho Man by the Village People is on there.
Not in the top 60. I will say there are no repeats of people on this list. So just putting that out there. Jodie.
Well, Rye stole mine also. Thanks. I'll try Freedom from George Michael.
It is on the list. However, It is number 28.
So close.
So close. Tony.
Oh, yeah, at this point, I'm just trying to think of artists. I'm just trying to think of who. And of course, Elton John is coming into my mind. And of course, what song am I going to choose? The first one I've got is Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
I love that song. But Elton John is not on this list.
Wow.
Okay. At all. So I don't know. I mean, this is the people over at Billboard. Maybe they didn't know what they were doing that day. But he's not on the list at all, which I think is a little sad. All right. What do you got for me?
I feel like I got to go with some Madonna. I'm going to try Vogue.
Vogue, number 4. Liam, we're back to you.
I'm going to take a shot, go way, way, way back. Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Let's see here. It is number 20. Good job. Jodie.
Everyone's taking all of mine. And now I'm also at the point where I'm just trying to think of a LGBT artist. You know what? I'm going to go in the Broadway direction. And I'm going to say Defying Gravity.
There is Broadway in here, but Defying Gravity is not on the list. Tony.
Yeah, let me piggyback on Broadway. I'll basically rent your answer, Jodie, and I'm going to go Seasons of Love.
Seasons of Love is not on the list. There is a Rent song on here, but I don't think it's in the top 25. Rye, what do you got for me?
Not much anymore, but I'm going to
there is a Rent. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, God.
Because I just misspoke. There is a Rent song on here, and it is in the top 25. It just isn't Seasons of Love. So if you want to try and take a stab at another Rent song, you can do that.
How about It's Raining Men?
I love It's Raining Men. And I think it is a crime that it is number 56 on this list.
No.
Justice for the Weather Girls.
Yes. Liam, what do you have for me?
So, Tony, I'm going to do it again. I'm sorry, because Rent is one of my all-time favorites. I've probably seen it in person 12 or 13 times. I'm going to go with maybe Tango Maureen.
Is not Tango Maureen. Jodie.
All right. Every song I've ever known has just exited my brain. No song has ever existed. I'm going to guess Fame.
Fame is not on the list. Tony.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just going to name a favorite artist. And if you've never heard it, go out and take a listen. I'm going to the Scissor Sisters, and I want to Take Your Mama.
There is a Scissor Sister song on here. It is not Take Your Mama. Which I love the Scissor Sisters. They're so great. Rye.
I am at 0. I don't know if I have anything. I will also just pick an artist, and let's go with Prince and Purple Rain.
Prince is not on the list either. I don't know. I think I need to write to the people at Billboard and be like, hey, we need to talk about your list, bro. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go one more time around. There's definitely some well-known artists on here, well-known songs. So, Liam, go ahead and give me your last guess.
I'm going to go with, because I do love some of the early Scissor Sisters, Let's Have a Kiki.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, number 7.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Jodie.
So, since it's the last round and I'm not giving anything away, I was like, there's got to be Beyonce because, I mean, she is an icon. And then I was like, could not think of a Beyonce song that was specifically kind of like a gay anthem. So I actually went with Survivor, Destiny's Child.
No Beyonce or Destiny's Child in this list. Again, kind of upset about them. They need like a top 70 and rearrange the list because they've done this list before. I checked to see if they actually put this in a playlist or not. And they did. They had top 50 and they did in 2016. I think this is the updated list where they added 10 more songs that have come out since 2016. So maybe they need to do it again. Liam, what's your last guess?
Oh, I already went.
Oh, not Liam. Sorry. Tony. I was looking at Tony's face, but your name.
Well, the answers we've given are solely lacking in the Britney Christina department. So I have chosen Toxic.
There is Christina on this list, but there is no Britney.
Okay. I mean, come on.
I know.
Come on.
I know. Rye, let's finish it out.
All right. I guess I'll try to pick up the Christina. And was it Beautiful? Is that what the name of the song was?
It is Beautiful, and it's number 33.
But still not 25. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So rounding out the rest of the top 25, True Colors, Cyndi Lauper was at number 5. Constant Craving, Katie Lang, number 6. I'm Every Woman, Shaka Khan was number 8. Dancing on My Own, Robin, number 9. Number 10, Don't Leave Me This Way by Thelma Houston. Number 11 was Montero, Call Me By Your Name, Lil Nas X.
Of course.
Number 12, True Trans Soul Rebel by Against Me. 13, I Know a Place by Muna. 14, Sissy That Walk by RuPaul. 15 was In Private, Dusty Springfield. 16, Closer to Fine, Indigo Girls. 17, Let It Go, Frozen. Number 18, a song that I love very much, Relax, Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Oh, I almost said that.
Number 19.
I didn't think it was gay enough.
It definitely is. Number 19, You Make Me Feel, Mighty Real, Sylvester. Number 21, this is the Rent song, It's Take Me or Leave Me. 22, Keep on Living by Le Tigre. 23, Make Me Feel by Janelle Monáe. And 25, If I Could Turn Back Time by Cher. And there's, I Want to Break Free was further down the list. Come to My Window was further down the list. So there was a lot of good songs on here that was in the top 25. So, but that is your warming up, Chris.
I was waiting for the Melissa Etheridge. I'm like, she's on the list somewhere.
She is. It's just further down.
What first occurred to me is about the Rent song is that was the one that I was picturing, and Tango Marine was the one that came out of the name.
All right. Well, this is episode number 382. This is our annual Pride episode. You are welcome to play along with us if you download the Triviamatic app and enter code
362338.
And you can play along with us. So today's game is going to be Rye and Tony versus Jodie and Liam. I'm going to be your host. Just so you know, this is going to be a celebration as much as possible. However, in my experience, you cannot stick 5 queer people in a room without the conversation at least once. So it may come up, especially during a time where, unfortunately, LGBTQ rights are under attack. But I do want this to be a celebration as much as possible because I want everyone to have a great time today with me. So that being said, it's time to play the game.
Players. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on.
So I have score sheet, I have my questions, and I have this other sheet that I had to fill in for the Triviamatic app, and then I have you. So I'm trying to find my spot. All right. First question of round 1. Your category is Making Waves. What recording artist had a critically acclaimed debut album, Channel Orange, in 2012, and then their sophomore album, Blonde, debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 in 2016?
So for a round 1, question 1, I think we're all in a lot of trouble right here.
Oh, no.
I don't want to speak for the other team, but Ryan and I are trying here, and it's just going to be all of us just having that death look right at a time limit and just like, okay.
Oh, no. Well, in my experience, if I can't make it right, I try to make it funny.
Okay, I think we can lock in.
Wonderful. Okay, right. So we had thrown out Janelle Monáe. That's the only thing I had, because I was just trying to think of someone who may have been around for 10 years as a recording artist. She probably started before that.
Yeah, Janelle Monáe, I think I know those names aren't familiar for her.
Yeah.
And I've listened to some of her albums. Yeah, we're thinking.
But then you said, let's focus in on the clue. The only clue we have really is the category making waves. Who did the voice in Moana?
I don't know. I'm not a Disney person.
Yep.
I know. I was thinking ocean, water. Was there something?
Yeah.
Something that has to do. Frank Ocean.
Oh, wow. For some reason, I was going completely female for some reason, but Frank Ocean, I mean, yeah, he's certainly making waves.
Yeah, you want to try that?
It's your answer, so go ahead, lock it in.
Let's do it. Locked in with Frank Ocean.
And Liam and Jodie.
Well, I think we're going to have to change the phrase to just pulling a rye, because first thing that came to mind for me was Frank Ocean, and that's what we locked in with.
All right. Yeah, caught on to the clue in the category name, making waves, because this is Frank Ocean. Great job.
Thank you, Rye. Wonderful.
Yeah, I think I was just saying, I had Ocean in my head the whole time, but just hearing it out loud, it was.
And as soon as you said Ocean, I'm like, they got it.
Your second category is a horse of a different color, giving a glimpse into a side of the LGBTQ spectrum that needs more representation in media. In the season 3 finale of what animated Netflix show did Todd Chavez come to terms with the fact that he's asexual?
All right, we're locked in.
All right.
All right, Rye. We both threw out Big Mouth first, but then that horse of a different color, I don't know enough about BoJack Horseman to even know, and having horse in there.
Yeah, that's a good call. I had those both came into my head also. I haven't watched much of either of them, just a couple of episodes. BoJack Horseman does seem like a show that would have a character like that, but yeah, I know like they all have...
Big Mouth is more coming of age. I don't know the true ages of the characters, and yeah, I haven't really watched either of them. I'm just...
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if there's been 3 seasons of Big Mouth. I think there have been 2, but maybe 3. Yeah. I like BoJack Horseman.
Let's do it. BoJack Horseman, locked in.
Liam and Jodie.
We also
all Jodie.
Yeah, we also locked in with BoJack Horseman. I've seen every episode, so it's an amazing show. So totally worth it if anyone's not seen it yet.
In the season finale of BoJack Horseman, Todd Chavez, who's one of the characters, figures out that he is asexual, which is cool because you don't actually see that especially in an animated media very much. So I think that's awesome. Both teams got it correct. Great job. Points for everybody. See, we're having fun. Y'all were nervous. Your last category in the round: tools to identify. What is the name of the American biologist and professor that believes sexuality is fluid and developed a scale, though not perfect, that ranges from 0 to 6 to describe an individual's orientation?
Yeah, right. We're locked in.
We're also locked in.
Yeah, Carmela, I love you as host, but Jonathan's not here for any meow meowage or anything like that.
You can meow meow with me.
I just need the.
Yo, you need the hammer. I don't have the hammer. Yeah.
But it's a small price to pay. But we're talking about the Kinsey scale.
All right, and Liam and Jodie.
We also said Kinsey. I couldn't pull up first name, so. Thank goodness for Jeopardy rules.
That's right. First name is Alfred, last name Kinsey. Kinsey scale, not exactly perfect. They actually include the inclusion of X, meaning there's no sociosexual context or reaction. They use that to describe asexuality, but it's not a perfect scale, but it gave us some tools to, try and describe ourselves, which I think is good. All right. So that is the end of the first round. Got the jitters out? We good? Because at the end of the first round, it is tied 30-30. Your first category in round 2 is a tragicomic. Fun Home is the name of a graphic novel / memoir written and illustrated by what cartoonist who has a test named for her, recollecting her youth as a closeted lesbian and her relationship with her closeted gay father. It was adapted into a musical and won the Tony for Best Musical in 2015.
We can lock in.
Oh, yeah, we're locked into.
All right. Liam and Jodie, you can talk out loud.
I'm not sure, actually.
I'm pulling an Allison, and I know it's the scale that rates the relationship between women in TV shows or movies on whether they get along or they're portrayed negatively. Bechdel.
The Bechdel
scale.
test, yeah. The Bechdel test is the one that's like, do two female characters talk about something other than a man for a certain amount of time or something like that. I've definitely heard that. I don't know about any of the other contexts of the question, but Bechdel is absolutely a scale, like a measurement of how inclusive of female identifying people media is.
And one of the most endearing songs from that show is about her meeting a woman during a summer trip who has a big key ring. And it's a great track. So should we lock in with Bechdel?
Yeah, I'm good with that if you are, yep.
Okay. We're locking in with Bechdel or Bechdel.
All right. And Tony and Ryan, it sounded like there was more meow meows.
Yeah, we also said Alison Bechdel. I've read Fun Home and seen the play and know about the test. So,
I know, yeah, the Bechdel test. I've heard about it on just about every movie podcast I've ever listened to. And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's common, to hear about it for movies and TV shows. I believe it has to be two named women characters who have a conversation about something other than a man in order to pass the Bechdel test. And it is both surprising and unsurprising what does and does not pass the Bechdel test. But both teams got it right. Y'all are doing awesome. All right, your next category, not that kind of opera. In 1977, what American sitcom was the first to have an unambiguously gay character, played by Billy Crystal? The show lasted for 4 seasons, and the character Jodie Dallas was featured throughout the series.
We can lock in.
All right.
And we were just, conferring, and my answer got in, and Rye said, yep, and that is Soap.
Liam and Jodie.
It was at the same time, and was one of my favorite shows as a kid.
We also said Soap.
All right.
Yeah, sorry.
I've seen a lot of Soap. I mean, it was on and then off before I was born. But my mom had I don't know if you remember these just like racks that you would put VHS tapes in, and in our hallway, like she had recorded them all off of TV. So we just had like this line. It was just nothing but Soap episodes. So I've seen a lot of Soap. Just because my mom had recorded like every episode. But yeah, we're looking for Soap. It was kind of a parody or a send up of soap operas, but it was in prime time. And Jodie Dallas was, if not the first, definitely one of the first unambiguously gay characters to be seen in prime time.
Great use of the word unambiguously. There was plenty before, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you have, your queer-coded characters. They're generally villains. And yeah, so it was nice to have it to like, no, this is what this is. So, and your last category in the round is To Be Read list. Giovanni's Room is a novel first published in 1956 with central themes of homosexuality and bisexuality, queer spaces, and masculinity, written by what award-winning author and civil rights activist?
What year was that? I'm sorry.
1956.
All right, Rye.
Yeah,
it looks like we're good to lock in.
Yeah. All right, Liam and Jodie, you can talk out loud.
Yeah, I'm not coming up with too much on this. Who's openly gay in 1956? That's scary. You said Baldwin, Liam. That sounds. Baldwin's one of those people that my brain never makes the connection between them and their work, and I always overlook them. So I'm totally fine going with that if you want to. That sounds like it could be the right answer. So I'm fine with locking with that.
Yeah, that's the only one I can come up with, and I'm in the same position as you. It's like I know the book name, I know the author name, I have no clue if it's the right one. So lock in with Baldwin.
Yeah, sounds good. Lock it in.
Okay.
Ryan, Tony.
Yes. Yeah, it's James Baldwin. It's a great book. We also have in Philly, our LGBTQ bookstore is called Giovanni's Room. It's James Baldwin.
Yeah, it is James Baldwin. And he lived in France for a good part of his adult life. He's originally from New York City, moved to France, and was out and open. He was a bisexual man. And I think Giovanni's Room is great. That book, Another Country, is another one that he did kind of with some of these central themes. So if you haven't read James Baldwin, I highly recommend him. Teams got it right. And at the end of the second round, it is still a tie game. It is 60-60. You guys are destroying my game.
You scared us with that first one.
I know.
But you figured it out. It's good. Your first category in round 3 is formative media for Carmela. Noxima Jackson, Vita Boheme, and Chichi Rodriguez drive a yellow Cadillac across the country and turn a small town on its head in what 1995 movie?
We can lock in.
Ryan, Liam, you can talk out loud.
I'm pretty sure we're talking back and forth. I think it's Tuong Fu. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, and I had Priscilla, Queen of the Desert down. Oh boy. And my problem was I watched both of these again like last year, and now I can't decide which one is which.
I'm pretty sure it's Tuong Fu. It's been a while.
Carmela, can you just give us the names, just the 3 character names again?
Noxima Jackson, Vita Boheme, and Chichi Rodriguez.
Yeah, I think Noxima was Wesley Snipes, and Vita was Swayze, and
Julie Newmar.
And then Chichi was the John Leguizamo.
Yep. Tuong Fu, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the Julie
I'll go
Newmar.
with it. I'll go with it there, Ryan. Yeah, we'll lock.
Liam and Jodie.
Yeah, we also said Tuong Fu. This was also formative media for me growing up. Speaking of VHS tapes, my grandmother had a VHS tape of this movie that she had taped off of like a free preview weekend of HBO when they used to do that. And I don't know why my older white straight grandma was into this movie, but she loved it and we watched it growing up all the time. So yeah, Tuong Fu, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
That's amazing.
It is Tuong Fu, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. This movie and The Birdcage, because I was a kid in the 90s, and I watched those 2 movies just over and over again, and is small wonders why I'm super into drag stuff. Because I just, watched fictional drag queens all the time. But yeah, Noxima Jackson was played by Wesley Snipes. Vita Boheme was Patrick Swayze, and Chichi Rodriguez, John Leguizamo, in probably one of my favorite roles that he's ever done.
Chichi was my favorite too.
Yeah.
Your next category is outside the binary. What is the term used by some indigenous communities in North America to describe those that fulfill a traditional third gender role in ceremonies and in their society?
We can lock in.
All right.
Okay, we're also just about to lock in, so we're good too.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Well, Liam and Jodie, if you want to go ahead and talk.
The only one that came to my mind, and Jodie kind of said the same thing, was Two-Spirit.
Okay.
And that's what we locked in with.
All right. Ryan and Tony.
We also said Two-Spirit.
All right. Just knew it off the top of your head.
Being a non-binary person, it's something that I kind of have done a little research on. I teach workshops and things on gender, so it's one of the ones that's in there.
Gotcha. What I'm looking for here is Two-Spirit. So great job, both teams. Not used in all cases, but a lot of communities in Indigenous America will use that to describe that traditional third gender. In your last category in the round is politics and activism. In November 2020, Sarah McBride, an activist and author who was the first openly trans person to address a major party convention, when she was a speaker at the 2016 Democratic Convention, was elected to the state senate of what mid-Atlantic state, becoming the highest-ranking transgender elected official in U.S. history?
We're locked in.
I think Ryan and I are locked in, yep.
All right, great. Jodie and Liam, you can talk out loud.
Okay. At least Mid-Atlantic kind of narrows it down a little bit for us. I don't know why I don't know why Delaware jumped to my mind. That could just be completely wrong, but that was the first thing that popped into my brain. So it's either completely correct or 100% opposite of the answer.
Yeah. After you said that one, the only other one that popped in was Rhode Island, but I don't even know if that's considered mid-Atlantic or.
It's not that. I can tell you that I live here, so it's definitely not that. We're not quite that.
That might be why it popped into my head.
Yeah, it's definitely not that. It's definitely, I mean, I guess it could be like Jersey, but I don't know. Mid-Atlantic, I think is like Maryland, Delaware, that kind of area. I don't think it's going to be much farther south than that. Do you want to just go with Delaware?
Yeah, sure.
Oh. All right, lock in Delaware.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was reading up on some history, some, queer trivia today, and I came across this fact, and I had a state in mind. And when I send it off to Rye and I said Delaware, they come back and say...
Yeah. I live in Philadelphia, but I teach in Wilmington, Delaware. And I remember when she was elected and I talked to my class about it. I had a little bit of a doubting myself. I was like, wait, did that really happen? But yeah, I do remember pretty clearly. I think she is from Delaware.
All right. Yeah, she also interned at the White House during the second Obama administration, was the first trans intern at the White House. And she was elected to the state Senate of Delaware. So great job, both teams. I also recommend her book. It's called Tomorrow Will Be Different. And it's a very, it's a powerful book, and it highlights her journey and her marriage to her husband. And I think it's a great book. I read it a couple years ago, so I highly recommend it. So that is the end of the third round. And both teams are crushing this. It is still tied. No one has missed anything. It is 90-90. Your midpoint category is a rainbow of meanings. So here's your question. The original Pride flag was designed by Gilbert Baker in 1978 to replace using the pink triangle in Pride parades and protests. The design was a rainbow with 8 colors, those colors being hot pink, red, orange, yellow, green, turquoise, indigo, and violet, with each color representing a specific meaning. Please give me 5 of those 8 meanings.
Okay. I think Ryan and I are ready to lock in.
All right.
So Jonathan just posted this on the TWA Instagram the other day. And I scrolled by it. You did.
Yep.
I thought that was you. And I scrolled by it and I was like, oh yeah, I know that. I've seen that before. I know what all those are. And now, of course, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure hot pink is sexuality. I'm pretty sure yellow is happiness. But other than that, get any ideas, Liam?
Well, you also had love, red.
Oh, yeah, I did. I think red might be love.
And the only ones I could think of were community or maybe unity, and then freedom.
I do think that unity or community might be one of the words. Like that. Okay. That phrase sound. Do we have to link them with the color?
No, I just want you to give me the meanings. Okay. I'll match up the color to it if it's correct.
Okay, good. I mean, at least we have a chance of getting them here. And we need 5 out of all of them.
Yep.
Okay, so I like freedom. I like that one.
What about liberation?
Well, that's kind of a synonym for freedom, wouldn't it be? Yeah. I do like community. I like that one as well, because we know chosen family and community is important. Do you want to go sexuality, community, freedom, happiness, love? Is that 5?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, so you said freedom, community, sexuality, happiness, and love?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and Jodie basically gave the whole thing away when she said that Jonathan did post it, and I was sitting at my parents' house for, Father's Day, and I'm seeing it, and I'm there like, that's probably going to be important to know, and not just for trivia. This is something I should probably know. So right off the top, both of us, said pink is sex, so sex is our first answer. And then as a biology teacher, I really focused in on the yellow and the green, because the yellow kind of threw me when I found out that the yellow is sunlight. Green is for nature. And then I had life and healing. So sex, sunlight, nature, life, and healing.
All right. So hot pink is for sex. Red is for life. Orange is for healing. Yellow is for sunlight. Green is for nature. Turquoise, there's two different answers that you can go with, magic or art. I've seen both. Indigo is serenity, and violet is spirit. I also apparently do not pay attention to the Trivial Warfare Instagram because I did not know that was. So Rye and Tony definitely got 5. Jodie and Liam, I'm going to accept sexuality for sex. So you'll get 1, and Rye and Tony, you'll get 5.
That was rough. I feel like a bad queer.
I also did until recently. I mean, it's never enough, right? Like, it doesn't matter what you do. You're never going to be queer enough. You're never going to be this enough. It is what it is. You are enough just by being who you are. But I totally understand what you mean.
I guess I know all the other ones too, like the bi colors and the trans colors and like what all of those mean, but not the whole rainbow, apparently.
And the only thought, Jodie, I'm glad you said it. The only thought that was going through my head was bad gay man, bad. So, yeah.
I didn't know them all. I mean, I knew some of them, and the reason I even knew some of them was because it was a challenge on RuPaul's Drag Race season 4 where they did representation of all the colors, and that's the only reason I even knew some of them at that point before I looked them all up again. So, I don't expect people to know all of them all the time. It's just a trivia question. And the fact that the flag doesn't even look like that anymore. It was just that was what the original one looked like. Mm-hmm. After the midpoint, we have some separation. Rye and Tony have 110. Jodie and Liam have 94.
All right, everybody. That is the end of the first half. And I'm going to take you back to Carmela in a little bit. But first, I need to let you know that today's show is sponsored by SporkleCon. So SporkleCon is going to be in Washington, D.C. the weekend of September 23rd through the 25th. And there's more information now about what's going to be going on at SporkleCon. So I literally have the website open right now, and I'm flipping through the schedule. One of the things that's really cool is there's going to be a big party on Friday night. Friday the 23rd is called the Biggest Sporkle Party. Austin Rogers is going to be hosting this event and doing his special version of trivia on Friday night. There's a trivia hunt on Embassy Row. So this is a in-person live trivia hunt. The big event on Saturdays, the Battle of the Brains. So it's a huge pub trivia night. Going to be a lot of fun. There's even something called Boot Camp Blitzes, which are 30-minute sessions on various popular quiz topics, right? So maybe you really want to get a little bit better at English monarchs, or maybe you want to get a little bit better at elements. That's the kind of stuff that you'll find at a boot camp blitz. We're even going to have a live game of Trivial Warfare during SporkleCon. It's going to be a huge event. I hope to see you there September 23rd through the 25th. Go to sporklecon.com right now to buy your tickets if you haven't already. Hope to see you there. We also have a word today from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Now, let me ask you a question. Can you imagine just having one car for your entire life and how we might treat it differently if you only had that one car for your whole life? Our brains are like that. We only have one brain for our entire life. And if we don't take care of it, if we don't put our preventative maintenance into it, if we don't get the oil changed every 3,000 miles, sometimes things can get out of whack. Things can get stuck in the wrong place. Things can get changed in the wrong position. We don't get the type of performance that we should necessarily get. It's important to invest time in keeping your mind healthy, keeping your brain working right. There's lots of ways to do that, but one of the great ways that you can do that is with BetterHelp online therapy. I can tell you that even today, just this morning, I was experiencing a powerful feeling. So I typed up a little message and I sent it to Crystal, who's my therapist through BetterHelp. And I know that we have a session later this week where we're going to talk about it. I'm not going to have this moment of feeling and just have it disappear. I'm going to get a chance to work through it and understand it and maybe just vent about it if that's what I need. Talking through those kinds of things is powerful. BetterHelp gives you that chance. BetterHelp is online therapy. You can do this on video, phone, even a live chat-only session if you want. You don't have to be on the camera. It's more affordable than in-person therapy is, and you can be matched up with a therapist in less than 48 hours. So once you get going, you can get moving. You don't have to wait. I'm happy to let you know that our listeners at Trivial Warfare get 10% off of their first month at betterhelp.com/TWA. That's right. Pull out your web browser. Go to BetterHelp. That's HELP.com/TWA to get 10% off your first month. I hope you take advantage of this offer, and I hope that it helps you as much as it helps me. Today's show is also sponsored by EveryPlate. I remember before I started using EveryPlate, I thought meal kits were going to be expensive, right? I thought that it was just going to be the same old thing, but it turns out EveryPlate is really more affordable than groceries. Having everything kind of come pre-ready for you, pre-portioned, that helps a guy like me who kind of tends to add a little bit more than I should. It helps me keep the pounds off, if you know what I mean. Having all that come in and just be easier to do, I'm a big fan. I mean, it's the long days of summer right now, and I'd rather be out there outside enjoying the sunshine or even sitting here on my computer working and putting shows together than spending my whole day or my whole evening in the kitchen. And you really can prep these meals and get them done in 30 minutes or less most times. And that is such a helpful thing for me. EveryPlate's great. They can save you time in the store. They can save you time with your prep. And they can save you money from your wallet. Love it. And right now, you can try EveryPlate for just $1.79 per meal by going to everyplate.com and entering code TWA179. Did you hear what I said? $1.79 a meal. In today's world of inflation, let me go off script for just a second here. In today's world of inflation where you're paying $15 at a fast food restaurant for a burger, some fries, and a shake or something, $1.79 a meal is fantastic. You can get started with EveryPlate for $1.79 a meal by going to everyplate.com and entering code TWA179. All right, let's get back to Carmela and today's show.
Let's get into round 4. Your first question is in the category award-winning literature. Originally published in 1969, The Left Hand of Darkness is a science fiction novel with themes of gender and sexuality and their impacts on culture, featuring individuals that are ambisexual, meaning they have no fixed gender. It won the Nebula and Hugo Awards and was written by what influential sci-fi fantasy author?
Okay, we're going to lock in.
Okay, that's trouble. So, we got 1969.
Yeah, I'm not a big sci-fi person. The only person that came to mind was Octavia Butler, because I know she's sci-fi and she has a lot of queer themes, but I don't know.
Yeah, and that's
she
why
started. Or
and that's why I asked if you knew any authors that may have been LGBTQ. I mean, since they're writing that, they don't necessarily have to be. But if you know that she did, I was just going to start throwing out general sci-fi authors from Asimov to whoever. But if you have someone who has definitely written those themes before, then yeah, we're 100% going to go with your answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I know some titles of hers, and that's not one that connects as a title of hers, and I also don't know when she started writing. I know she's been kind of, I think 80s or I don't know, but we can go with that if you've got nothing else.
It's better than any of my generic sci-fi, that's so rude, generic sci-fi authors I was going to mention. So I think we'll lock in with Octavia Butler.
Liam and Jodie.
Well, I said you say it because I can't pronounce her name, but
it wasn't until tonight that I finally learned how to pronounce Wilkes-Barre. We went with Le Guin.
Ursula Le Guin.
Ursula.
Yeah, I was like, Butler's not that hard to pronounce. So that's
yeah, I've heard of Ursula Le Guin. Oh no.
Yeah, sounds good.
When I think sci-fi author, Sorry, Liam said it first. That's like sci-fi author for me. That's the one I think of. And then Liam said it first, and I agree. But as soon as you said Octavia Butler, I was like, oh, yeah, she exists too. I forgot about her. So we said Le Guin.
Butler does indeed exist. She definitely wrote speculative sci-fi. But the person I'm looking for here, she also wrote The Wizard of Earthsea. It's Ursula K. Le Guin. So great job, Jodie and Liam.
That was nice job, Liam. That was a good one.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just recommending books. So this whole time, I'm a huge sci-fi person. I love to read sci-fi. The Left Hand of Darkness is actually a very interesting premise for a book. So if you've never read it, I do recommend reading it. I think it's very good. Your next category, it's not TV, it's HBO. Created by David Jenkins, what HBO series premiered in March 2022, featuring characters such as Izzy Hands, Spanish Jackie, and Calico Jack? The series is praised for its LGBTQ plus representation, including a non-binary character and not actually queerbaiting. A second season was announced on June 1st, 2022. The look on everyone's faces is like somewhere between confusion and defeat.
Carmela, I got 10 pounds of nothing in a 5-pound bag right now. So.
Carmela, what was the category title again?
It's not TV, it's HBO.
Okay, that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Not at all. Rye's doing some good stuff for me right here, so I'm going to give them a chance to finish up their thoughts.
I'm trying. All right, I guess we're going to lock in.
Okay. We're having a reluctant lock in.
Yes.
Yeah, mainly so we don't have to talk it out because I don't know what we'd say.
All right. Jodie and Liam.
Yeah, we don't have much either here.
Yeah.
I told Liam, ironically, I work for a cable company, specifically in the television department. However, I don't have cable. I do have HBO Max, and I'm pretty sure if you open HBO Max right now, I'm pretty sure the show is like on the front page because of Pride Month. But the name of it I'm pretty sure I can like see the artwork for it, and I can't remember the name.
And like Tony said, I've also got a big old bag of nothing. Should we just go with the one I jokingly suggested?
Sure. It can't be right, be funny, right?
So in honor of our fearless host, we went with the Canada McMaple Bacon Show.
Yes. It better get renewed for a second season. Tony, Rye, what do you got for me?
So there's a show that I haven't watched yet that I've been meaning to watch. It's been recommended. That's called Sort of. And I think it's on HBO. And I know the main character is, well, I can't say I know that. I think they are. I think that the main character is non-binary, or there's something happening with their gender. So, and I think it came out this year. So we locked in with Sort of.
So Izzy Hands, Spanish Jackie, and Calico Jack are actually all names of real pirates.
Of course.
So also features Steve Bonnet and Blackbeard. Blackbeard played by Taika Waititi. This is Our Flag Means Death.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to watch that.
Which, if you haven't seen it, please go watch it if you have access to HBO. It is a
Tony
wonderful show. The non-binary character, their name is Jim, is actually played by a non-binary actor, Vico Ortiz. And the show it's funny. It's, Taika Waititi's also fun to look at. And but I do highly recommend the show if you have access to HBO Max. And they renewed it, they announced it the first day of Pride Month. We're like, yes! Happy Pride to us. Unfortunately, neither team got that one, but that's okay. Y'all have been doing great so far. It was bound to happen once, right?
You got us, Carmela. You got us.
I gotcha. Your last category in the round is obligatory sports question.
No.
What is the name of the American soccer player who is co-captain for the U.S. national women's team for their 2019 World Cup victory, as well as an activist for equal pay in women's professional sports? It was included in Time Magazine's 100 Most Influential People of 2020.
All right, Carmela, we're locking in.
For the first time, we have conflict.
Yeah. The first name that popped into my head while you were reading the question was Abby Wambach, and I think that's just because I adore her and her wife, and the book she wrote.
So I said the name that popped into my head as you were reading the question was Megan Rapinoe. And then you said co-captains, which means more than one captain. So it could be either. I do feel like Megan got more press lately. Like I know she's a spokesman for Victoria's Secret now. And so the whole like Time magazine thing and stuff like that, I feel like I just heard Megan's name more. But as soon as you said Abby Wambach, I was like, oh yeah, it could completely be that too. So I feel like it could be either.
I think you were right, because I do remember Megan taking the lead and getting a whole lot of blowback for leading, the fight for equal pay.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good with Megan Rapinoe.
All right, we'll lock in Megan Rapinoe.
All right.
I definitely had her hair in my mind, and before I could even pull a name, I came in with the Rapinoe. I don't know how to spell it. I'm not 100% know how to say it, but we were locking in with Rapinoe as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it, because I don't know how to say it either.
In my head, I always say Rapinoe, but then I think when I hear people say it, I think they say Rapinoe.
I think I've heard it as Rapinoe more often than not, so that's the way I'm going to say it. But I do have Megan Rapinoe. I did go ahead and look up Abby Wambach. She was part of the 2015 team that won the World Cup, and she was part of Time's most influential list in that year. So she was a correct answer for 5 years previously. But you all both went with Rapinoe. You both got it correct. Both teams get full credit.
Oh, stressful.
Because I started to get nervous. I'm like, wait a minute. Are there two answers to this? Because there could be two answers, in which case I would have accepted both. But I was like, no, actually. All right. So at the end of the fourth round, Rye and Tony have a lead. It is 120 to 114. Both teams are still doing fantastic. Your first category in round 5 is interstellar dating. BioWare games typically have a romance mechanic where your character can develop a relationship with a non-playable character. Due in part to ill-informed backlash of romance scenes in the first installment of what sci-fi trilogy that had a remastered version released in May 2021, same-gender romance options were cut in the second game. Is this the time where all of you going to tell me that you don't play video games?
No, I do.
Okay.
Not much.
I do.
Some nods.
Yeah. I do, just not this one.
All right, we can lock in.
Okay.
I got nothing.
Have you heard of a video game, Rye?
No, yeah, sci-fi and video games are just not my lane.
Yeah, there's one I'm really, really, really trying to pull. Like Gears of War popped into my head, but that's not it. I'm trying to get to another game.
Sorry, I'm no help.
That's okay. The one I want to say, I'm not getting there. The only thing that popped into my head was Gears of War. I have no idea if that's a thing. I mean, no, it's a thing, but I don't know if it fits any of these clues. So I think that's just what we're going to have to say. I'll say Gears of War.
Jodie and Liam.
So I do play video games. Said probably too much. I generally play really challenging, like Metroidvania style platformers that make you want to throw the controller across the room, and then you beat it and you feel like a god.
Yeah.
However, Carmela, I know that you love Mass Effect, and I know that Mass Effect is a game that takes place in space and is pretty story driven. And I do think I remember them being some kind of controversy about same-sex relationships. So we said Mass Effect.
I think Tony agrees.
See, that's the one I was trying to think of. And here's the in I was trying to get. I said in the opening that I'm a big roller coaster theme park fan. And I know that at California's Great America, out there in the Bay Area, they have a dark ride. They have a 3D theater. They have a live actor. And it was for this game. And it is for Mass Effect. So if that's the right answer, I had it somewhere in here. I just didn't pull it.
I have this little guy that you see, and you guys can't see this because you're listening, but the people on the screen can see. You see this little guy right above my finger? He's from Mass Effect. He just kind of sits behind me. If you don't know who he is, you'd have no idea what that meant. But there's this little guy right there. Yeah, this is Mass Effect. So the way that the story goes, the first game came out in 2007. It featured a romance option. There was a female character who could be romanced by both a male and a female player character. And Fox News got up in arms that there was two partially naked people. They're like, oh, well, this is straight hardcore porn. And then so, one of the talking heads got into it. And then she actually went and watched it. She goes, oh, I've seen more intense stuff on Grey's Anatomy. So they got a bunch of backlash, and there were several more romances planned for the second installment, including a lot of same-gender romance, and they end up cutting it partially because of the backlash they received in the first game. In the third game, there were some men loving men, women loving women relationships that were added into the game, which is great. It's one of my favorite game series in the entire world. So I guess I talk about it often enough that Jodie's like, hey, I know you like this thing. I bet it's this.
I was pretty sure it was that just from the question, but I was like, Carmela also loves that game. I've heard her talk about it multiple times. I did play the first one, I think, a very long time ago when it first came out, but I was like, it's got to be that. If it's not, I'm going to look like a fool, but I'm glad it was.
And the only game that Carmela's pulled me into was Animal Crossing, which my current island is a mess of plants.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah, so it's mine. Mine's awful. But I do walk around dressed like Orville Peck all the time. I wear a little mask. I have my cowboy hat and my Western shirt. I look great. All right. Your next category in the round is What You See Isn't Always the Truth. Primarily applied to Hollywood celebrities in the 20s and 30s due to morality clauses in their contracts. What colorful term characterized a marriage between a man and a woman to camouflage the gay or otherwise non-straight orientation of one or both parties?
Okay, we're going to lock in.
So over here, we're just thinking about the colorful terms. We're thinking pink. We're thinking lavender. We're thinking camouflage. We're throwing out anything. I'm trying to connect it to some sort of famous gay phrase, like the celluloid closet, like that was for film, but that's not colorful. So,
yeah, I'm kind of stuck on this one. Yeah, I like the sound of lavender when Tony threw that out. That I was like, is it something like more gay or less gay if it's trying to camouflage it? Like, is that too gay? Or, but I don't have anything else.
It's always the conundrum, right? It's like, is this too gay to be gay, or is this not gay enough?
Yeah, so I think we're settling on a lavender wedding, but I know I'm missing something here.
Yeah, I'm good.
So we're good, yeah. Lavender wedding. That's our answer, locked in.
Jodie and Liam.
You're going to make me do this one, aren't you, Jodie?
Yeah. This is all your idea. I have absolutely nothing. So Liam came up with something that could actually be plausible. So you could take this.
I had a huge bag of nothing that had a single drop of things in it. So pretty much a bag of almost nothing. First color that popped into my head was pink. And then I know much later there were green card marriages. So we just went with pink card. Couldn't pull anything.
So obviously these marriages exist outside of Hollywood. People did this for all sorts of reasons. It just primarily was applied to this particular sect of people. It's called a lavender marriage. I will accept lavender wedding.
Yeah.
Right.
Supposedly, that's what Rock Hudson was in, was a lavender marriage, even though his wife did claim that she thought it was a legitimate marriage up until his death. But, morality clauses in people's contracts, for some reason, they decided that, it's just immoral for you to like someone of the same gender. So we're going to make you marry someone that you don't love at all. So I will give Rye and Tony credit for a lavender wedding.
As soon as you said lavender, I was like, that rings a bell. Yeah. That sounds something about like lavender and hiding.
It's a much better wedding color, too, than just pink. Pink can be a little too. Lavender is a wonderful wedding color.
I probably just pulled pink from like the pink triangle, but
yeah.
That was
what I
was
first,
thinking,
too. Yeah. On my paper, I wrote Hollywood, hide gay. Now I know.
Sir.
Lavender.
All right. And your last category in the round is what's in a name? In Oscar Wilde's play, The Importance of Being Earnest, Mr. Moncrief tells Miss Cecily that his name is Ernest. This, of course, is a lie, and Mr. Moncrief actually has what name, coincidentally shared by a super smart mouse in a Daniel Keyes novel?
Liam, if you're okay, I can 100% lock in on this.
Got my mouse.
Like a bazillion meow meows.
Oh, wow. A bazillion.
I defer. I defer because it's pulling in the back of my head.
All right. You're locking in?
Let me double check with my partner before.
Okay.
I'm notorious for being like, I'm 100%, and then I'm wrong.
I have done that where I I had the right answer in my head, but wrote down the wrong thing.
So we are locked in.
So I have nothing for the important of being earnest side. So now I just have to go to literature, and it was mouse. It was what was the descriptor on the mouse, Carmela?
Shared by a super smart mouse in a Daniel Keyes novel.
Super smart mouse. Flowers for Algernon came into my head. And
sorry. When you wrote that, that sounded good to me. I was trying to. I was blanking on the character. I don't know anything from the Oscar Wilde angle either.
Yeah.
The only mouse I could think of was Stuart Little, and I know that's not Daniel Keyes. But when you said Flowers for Algernon, that sounded good. I'm good to go with that.
All right. So we'll say Algernon.
Jodie?
So I'm reading this right now. Which is why as soon as you said it, I had no idea about Ernest, but as soon as you said Daniel Keyes and the Smart Mouse, I'm like almost done with it. I've read it like 10 times every few years. I just like to be like emotionally destroyed. So I am reading that and Mouse right now at the same time because who needs happiness, I guess. So yeah, it's 100% Algernon. I love the book. It's by Daniel Keyes, and it's actually my daughter's great-grandfather's name is Algernon, and I didn't know it was a real person name until I found that out. So
I'm finding that out right now. This is really neat. That's
it's
cool.
barely actually a name. Yeah, I thought it was just a mouse. I never realized that humans were named that.
First, let me just check. Jodie, are you okay? You're reading Mouse and
Yes.
Flowers for Algernon at the same time.
Yes.
Like, are you okay? It's like you need to talk to somebody.
I
I'm
also
a
feel like
therapist.
I feel like I also have ADHD in that I have comfort material that I read and watch and consume over and over. And some of it is like a little rough. A lot of it's like Parks and Rec and The Office. And then every now and then I'm like, you know what I want? I want to cry for
Like, I
like
just wanna be
3 hours
destroyed.
after
Yeah.
I finish a book. Yeah. I had to read it in school. And after reading it for school, I bought a copy, and my copy's falling apart at this point. But yeah, it's so good. If you haven't read it, 100% worth it.
Yeah, I have Mouse right over there. And the name I'm looking for here, it's a nice Victorian Edwardian type of name, is Algernon. So great job. There's a film version of The Importance of Being Earnest. It's got like, oh my God, his name is left my head. It's Rupert, not Rupert Grint, the other one. Rupert Everett and Reese Witherspoon. And it's a great adaptation of The Importance of Being Earnest. I think it's very fun. So that is the end of the 5th round. It is a very close game. Ryan and Tony still have the lead at 140 to 134. And we are in the last round before the gauntlet. Your first category is Know Your Herstory. STAR, Street Transvestite Action Revolutionaries, was a group dedicated to helping homeless LGBT youth in New York City and was co-founded in 1970 by what two prominent figures, not only in the New York City drag scene, but also in the forefront of the gay liberation movement of the late 60s, early 70s. So who co-founded STAR? I'm looking for 2 names.
I knew you were going to say you want both.
Is round 6.
I know.
Okay, we're locking in.
All right.
Oh, come on.
Sorry.
I feel like one of them has to be Marsha P. Johnson, because if I hear New York City 70s leading the March for Rights, she comes to mind. I don't have another name. Do you have any other guesses, Liam?
The first name popped up, and it seems like it's Sylvia.
That I know who you're thinking of, and I don't know that I know their last name either.
Johnson.
I I don't feel like it's like a generic.
Yeah.
Like Smith or Johnson. I think it's
Oh,
something.
wait, no, Marsha B. Johnson.
Yeah.
Chase?
I don't think I'm going to be able to associate the first name with the last name. I think Sylvia is the first name. I do agree, but I don't know that I'd be able to pull a last name. This is another one where I always remember like half of the fact and not the other half.
And I know this has come up before.
Yeah, for sure.
You want to just go with Chase and see if that's...
I feel like if that's coming to your mind, it's not coming from nowhere. So we might as well go with it. 'Cause it could be your brain firing off a neuron somewhere that's telling us the right answer. Right. So we'll lock in Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Chase.
Okay.
I jumped in way too early and mistyped something, but then Rye comes in with Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia ... I did, however, have Rivera as the second last name. So Johnson, Rivera.
Yeah, and I had the Rivera, but you typed it in faster. So I was like, Sylvia,
you had both. Yeah. Okay, good. I don't want to take that away from you. You had them all. Okay, good. Because I first typed Jackson, and I'm there like, no, okay, yeah, Johnson, yeah.
So why am I still typing? You already have Johnson, it in there.
Rivera. Yeah. All right, cool.
So STAR was co-founded by the mayor of Christopher Street, Marsha P. Johnson, and Sylvia Rivera.
Just glad I didn't say Sylvia Plath. That would have been more wrong.
Your next category is a place to belong. What is the name of the prominent gay neighborhood in San Francisco? Harvey Milk opened a camera store there that would later become the headquarters for his election campaigns.
We can lock in.
Okay.
Yeah, right. There's a couple of these. My first was Boys Town, but I think that might have been in Chicago.
Yeah, the first thing that came to mind was the Castro, which I'm pretty sure is San Francisco. Yeah, I got that. I was thinking about neighborhoods I know in San Francisco. There's like Haight-Ashbury or Asbury,
I've never been, and the Castro definitely makes sense to me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the gay area.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. We'll lock Castro.
Okay. Liam and Jodie.
So I got this one right away because before moving to Colorado Springs, I lived in the Bay Area and Northern California for almost 25 years, including the last 5 years across the Bay from San Francisco. And Harvey was the mayor of Castro Street. So we went with Castro.
Yeah, of course.
He opened a shop called Castro Camera, and that was in the Castro neighborhood of San Francisco. Great job.
Nice job.
And your last category before the gauntlet is Love Wins. Recently back in the spotlight for revealing notes given to him by Disney to censor and change things, Alex Hirsch has previously stated that when he created it in 2012, Disney forbade him from having any explicit LGBTQ plus representation, but that didn't stop Sheriff Blubbs and Deputy Durland from declaring their love for each other in the series finale of what animated show?
And once again, let's get those names again, at least.
Sure. Alex Hirsch is the creator of the show, and Sheriff Blubbs and Deputy Durland declared their love on the series finale. Because Alex Hirsch is like, well, it's the end. What are you going to do about it?
Was there a year on that?
The show was created in 2012.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Actually just passed its 10-year anniversary this past week.
Oh my God, 2012 was 10 years ago.
Yep.
Shut up. Oh my God.
Time is meaningless. It's okay. I still think I was in Chicago like 3 weeks ago, and I was in Chicago in March 2020, and actually went to Boys Town. Well, I was there.
I got that part right, but
yeah,
it's not helping me with this one.
All right, we can lock in.
Okay.
2012, animated, Disney, Blubbs, Durland.
I mean,
Disney animated shows. Now, I mean, I have Disney Plus, but I don't know of any shows. I haven't watched any of these. I'm sure that they have things on network, your actual cartoons, I'm going to say Saturday morning cartoons, but I'm showing my age on that probably.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any Disney animated shows that are from like later than, I don't know, Mickey Mouse.
When is Paw Patrol from? Because I heard an officer in there, so I immediately thought
Patrol.
I don't know if
Well,
it's
that wouldn't
Disney.
have had it. Well, maybe that's later than 2012.
No, he said that when he created it or when he thought of it in 2012, Disney told him no representation. So it may have debuted after that. I'm just pulling animated. I'm pulling officer. That's where I'm at, and that's about all I got.
I don't have anything. So if you want to go with that, I'm good with that. Is that something that, like you said, you have Disney Plus? Do you have any?
I've never. No, I come across it in trivia shows like this, and I know it exists in that way, but no, like my nieces and nephew have no idea. They don't want. I don't know. So
yeah. I mean, I have nothing else, and yeah, the sheriff and deputy thing makes sense for that. So I'm good to go with that.
Sure. Okay, we'll lock in with Paw Patrol.
Okay. Liam's pen exploded. So you back, Liam? Oh wow, it really did explode all over your hand. Oh my gosh.
Let him get.
I'm back, if only to use pencils.
All right. Well, Rye and Tony have given their answer, so we're ready for yours and Jodie's answer.
So my first instinct when you read the question was Steven Universe, because I know it's very LGBT friendly, possibly has characters, but the creator's name rang a different bell, but I couldn't pull it. So we did end up going with Steven Universe.
Okay. I love Steven Universe. I have a little art print for the crystal gems on my desk. Steven Universe was on the Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network don't care. They'll let anything happen.
And actually, Steven Universe was the first cartoon to have a same-sex wedding. So, and Rebecca Sugar created Steven Universe.
I thought it was a woman. Yeah.
Yeah. It is not Paw Patrol either. This is Gravity Falls.
That's the other one. Yeah.
Okay.
Fun show. So recently, like in the past week or so, Alex Hirsch has released some of the notes that have gone back and forth between him and Disney while he was running the show. And some of the things they're like, hey, you should take this out. And he's like, no, that's stupid.
Wow.
and he
tough talk to the mouse.
I'll find the link to it and I'll throw it in the chat. But he voices his notes and their notes, and it's just so funny because some of the things are like, take this spin the bottle thing. It's like they're teenagers. Like, what do you think is going to happen? like it's not approved by S&P. He's like, fine, I'll change it, but I'm putting on because it was a party flyer. He's like, well, but I'm changing it to not approved by S&P, and they're like, this isn't approved by S&P, and like, well, I'm leaving it on there. He's like, fine, it is approved by S&P, and it actually made it into the show. This party flyer like had all the stuff on it, and underneath is like not approved by S&P. It actually made it into the show. He's like, no, stupid.
That's the other one I was trying to think of.
Yeah. What drives me crazy is one of my clients just introduced that show to me a few weeks ago. And I think that was the episode they showed me.
Oh, okay.
The party episode.
Yeah.
I was never going to pull Gravity Falls, but.
All right. At the end of the 6th round, Rye and Tony are in the lead with 160. Jodie and Liam have 144. So your gauntlet category is Vogue.
We've got our bet.
So do we.
All right. Both teams have their wagers locked in. Your first question in the category, Vogue. Voguing is a highly stylized modern dance that developed out of the Harlem ballroom scene in the 80s. It was featured in what 1990 documentary?
We're locked in.
Okay.
So
Jodie and Liam,
we're locked in too.
Yep.
Your second question. In 1989, the members of what house, founded in 1982 by a gay Puerto Rican man named Hector Valle, and had notable members such as Venus and Angie, were featured on the cover of American Vogue alongside Naomi Campbell?
All right. I think we're locked in.
I think we're good, actually. I think we're locked in.
Yeah.
Okay. Your last question in the gauntlet. Famous for directing Fight Club and The Social Network, What director won the MTV Music Video Award for Best Direction for directing the music video for Madonna's Vogue?
Carmela, it was Fight Club and...
The Social Network.
Okay, I wrote it down wrong. Yeah.
Sorry, we should have said this. We can lock in.
Okay.
Okay, we're locked in.
All right. Let's go back through and get the answers. Voguing is a highly stylized modern dance developed out of the Harlem ballroom scene. And it was featured in what 1990 documentary, Liam and Jodie?
So we both almost immediately at the same time said to each other, Paris is Burning.
All right. Rye and Tony?
Rye and I also meowed with Paris is Burning.
Okay. Second question. In 1989, members of what house, founded by a gay Puerto Rican man named Hector Valle, and was featured on the cover of American Vogue alongside Naomi Campbell? Tony and Rye.
We threw out Evangelista and then Balenciaga. And those were pretty much the only ones we could come up with. Isn't there something like La with a G? But I couldn't get there. So we knew Evangelista was from Pose. So we went Balenciaga.
All right. Liam and Jodie.
We struggled with this one a lot. My brain kept mixing Venus and Angie together into Vanjie. So all I could think in my head was Miss Vanjie. 89's a little bit, I was like 3, so I don't have like memory at this time yet. So we just said House of Fashion.
Okay. And famous for directing Fight Club and The Social Network, what director won an award for directing the music video for Vogue? Liam and Jodie.
So we had major meow meows on this one. And we went with Fincher.
No.
I think.
All right.
Yes, that's what we went with.
Tony and Rye, what is your answer?
We didn't even have the smallest anything on this. The only thing I can come up with was Fincher.
So going back to, we'll give the answers now. Voguing was featured in what 1990 documentary? Jodie, you were talking about kind of like materials that you go back to for comfort. This is the thing that I always go back to and watch over and over again. And it is Paris is Burning. He later went on to, direct Fight Club and The Social Network, as well as many other things. But he originally directed music videos, and it was indeed David Fincher. So let's talk about that second question. In Paris is Burning, this particular house was featured as particularly Venus and Angie, primarily Latina, and Black members of this house. This is the house of extravaganza.
Oh.
So Hector Extravaganza.
Extravaganza.
Yes. So both teams missed it. So that means this is going to come down to wagers. So Jodie and Liam, let's talk about your wager. You had 144 going in.
So we talked back and forth. We both recognized that we rarely get all three in the gauntlet. And we also acknowledged that your gauntlets there tends to be one question that just kicks. So we went back and forth, figuring what would we have to wager to outpoint them. And then we remembered the classic phrase of champions wager or champions bet zero. So just to be a little snarky, we bet 1.
Bet 1. All right. So you are going to finish with 143. Rye and Tony, you were in the lead going in. What did you end up wagering?
So we started talking about how we rarely get all 3. And that, as we're going through this game, it tended to play a little bit on the easier side. But, Carmela's gauntlets aren't what they are. And also, hey, we're here for fun. We're here for pride. We're here for whatever it is. And, yeah, we went for the pride because we went for the lockout. We bet 129.
129.
We're here. We're queer. Let's go for the lockout.
So you are going to finish with 31. So with a score of 143 to 31, Liam and Jodie, you are our winners today. Ooh, great job.
Only time I've ever done anything conservative in my life was that.
On that.
Great job, Jodie. Thank you. And everybody.
Yeah, that was a great game. I feel like
Yeah.
that was pretty evenly matched all the way through. We were like neck and neck for most of that.
That was a ton of fun. I think both teams did excellent, and I was very happy to spend my evening with all of you today. Before I let you all go, I'd like to give everyone a chance to do any shout outs, any causes they want to promote. So Liam, we will start with you.
So I just want to start with saying thank you for doing this every year, Carmela. It's always a joy to listen to, and I always learn a little bit more every year. But I think my shout outs, I just want to encourage everyone to take care of your mental health. As a therapist and a social worker, it's a big passion for me. And always understand that we don't know what's going on in someone else's life. And if we judge them, we don't know what that one judgment could do to them. And then also, since I work for a nonprofit, we are continuing to struggle financially, as I'm sure a lot of nonprofits are. We operate on very tight budgets. So I would just ask everybody, find a local nonprofit. Doesn't matter to me what type of nonprofit it is in, but if you can, throw us a little bit of money to help pay the bills.
All right. And Jodie.
Yeah, just like Liam said, just everyone take care of yourselves, take care of your friends and family. Sometimes people are hesitant or afraid or nervous about reaching out and asking for help. Sometimes the offer needs to be made first. So especially with the things that have been happening recently in this country, politically and whatnot, we got to stick together, and we have to, if we want to see change, we need to vote. And not just in, the every 4 years presidential election, the primaries, the midterm, all of those matter in getting the right people in the right places to protect these rights that we've fought for and we earned, and not go back to the way that it was, because none of us want to see that. So please support your local politicians all the way up to, the bigwigs, and vote as often as you can, anytime you can, anytime you're given the opportunity. It's your right. Use it. Don't throw it out.
Agreed. All right, Tony?
With everything going on in the world, especially this month where we have Pride, but we're also hearing about, everything politically and, socially and everything else that we're dealing with, when interacting with people, no matter who they are, always just choose kindness, choose compassion, practice empathy. You don't know where somebody is at. You don't know what's going on in their life. And, starting from that place of kindness, compassion, it just, is going to spread so much more throughout the world. And, take care of yours, as we just, as we're hearing too, your family, your, chosen family, your friends, take care of each other and love hard.
Love it. And Rye.
I guess what I want to talk about is about checking biases around gender, and just remembering that everyone is somewhere on a spectrum, and that having assumptions about what makes someone a boy, what makes someone a girl is damaging to everybody. I just see it so much in education. I think we all really have these biases, and I think it's just really important to reflect on what we've been taught and what we see and what's real, and just accept people for who they are.
Absolutely. Well, again, I had so much fun. I love doing this every year. It's one of my favorite episodes to do every year. I love to make it a celebration, and I had just the most excellent time with all of you here today. And for everyone out there, if this is your first Pride episode with us, if this is your fourth Pride episode with us, if this is your first time celebrating Pride after coming out, if you can't come out for whatever reason, I see you and I love you, and I want you to celebrate in your own way. And I will see all of you next time. Thank you for being here with me today.
Thanks for listening to Trivial Warfare. Be sure to check out the revamped TrivialWarfare.com as your one-stop shop to submit questions, join the community, and get access to over 150 archived episodes. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. For help with your podcast, visit ProPodcastingServices.com.